Hey, greetings everybody. This is Juice, and I first want to say thank you for all of you that have reached out wishing me well for my recovery after my surgery on my carotid artery. I want to let all of you know that I am doing really good, better than I expected. It's been 2 weeks today, and I have my first follow-up after the surgery on Friday, so we'll have more information then. But one of the things I wanted to tell you guys is I will be doing a full video on how all of this came about, how I discovered it, and what are some of the signs you might want to watch out for so that you don't have a potential stroke or an impending stroke in the future. This video here is from 8+ years ago. It was in August of 2018. I rode my gravel touring bike from Spokane to Missoula and met with Russ and Tolfer of Missoula, and we did an episode on the Burnside bourbon. I'm not a big drinker anymore. It's one of the health risks that I have to manage with my condition, but pretty much I am going to get back on the bike soon. So I hope you enjoy this episode. It was really fun to do. These are two great guys, and I will see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching.
So is this,
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
so is this room bigger or smaller than you imagine?
It's actually, the room is bigger than I imagined, but the distances are smaller.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bikes and Bourbon. I'm Russ from Pathless Pedal,
I am Toffer from Pedal Missoula.
and we have a special guest.
Hey, I'm Don Welch from Welch's, Oregon.
Nice. And our special guest today brought some fine bourbon. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, this is Burnside bourbon from Portland, Oregon, and I have not had it. Notice it's still sealed.
Right.
This was a gift from my sister-in-law a couple Christmases ago, and I've been saving it for a special occasion. And when I realized that my wife and I were coming to Missoula on business, I said, I'm going to email Russ and say, hey, I've got a bottle for you.
Right.
Yeah, and you've taken a good trip to get here. It's not a typical business trip. You've fit in a little biking
Yeah,
in your traveling here.
Being a at-home businessman and a stay-at-home dad, I try to get my little vacations in when I can. And so we went to Spokane, where my wife's from.
Yeah.
And I started a trek from Spokane to here on my Trek 920 gravel bike.
Cool.
And I fully loaded it, ready to camp. And when I saw the temperatures and stuff, I hoteled it.
Yep.
I hoteled it as much as I could. I
Yeah.
actually ended up staying an extra day in Wallace, Idaho to check out all the museums and the sites there.
It's a cool place, Wallace.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Well, let's start opening this.
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah, let's have
this.
let's
yeah, Wallace can sell itself.
Yeah, Wallace, we're here for you, but we also are here for bourbon.
Yeah. It's bourbon from Burnside, Oregon oaked bourbon.
Yeah.
So finished off in.
So it's not their regular bourbon.
Okay. So it's
So it's a kind of a little bit of a special occasion.
nice.
Right.
Oops.
Oh, sorry.
It's like a little drip. It'll evaporate.
Sloppy with my
And
pores
it's
here.
It's probably the bottle design.
I'm excited. Yeah, this looked like a good one.
Right now, the nose has
Kind of.
kind of got a straight and level nose to me. I don't.
Yeah.
It's a little bit on the light side. It's nothing like super strong. Maybe slight caramel vanilla, but nothing that really jumps out of the glass right now.
I think the alcohol is like, I always feel like whenever you first open a bottle, you can I feel like sometimes alcohol can just really jump out at you, and this is.
But for
feels
46%, it's like it's not
balanced,
kicking
yeah.
the nose.
Because I was expecting that Vicks vapor rub.
Right.
The corn. It's kind of there, but like in a nice.
I get a little mint too. For me, there was like a little mint up front.
And I noticed the first swirl was almost a little bit of a full circle thing too.
Yeah.
You got 3 or 4 different emotions there before you got the finish.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
I'm
would
a
be nice.
single malt
This is-
Scotch guy, but I could drink this.
This is better. Honestly, this is better than I expected from like a relatively new distiller. I
Right.
imagine.
Yeah,
Like,
we've been talking about this kind of off camera when we are trying different bourbons. That sometimes the newer, it's hard. It's a hard business model.
Right.
Because I mean, like the
it's got to
really,
age.
it's got to age. It's got to age, and like,
Yeah.
what business can just let something sit in a warehouse?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that's
like
For
having-
years.
For years,
and
like,
not make money, and then like
Right.
have something good.
I mean,
Right.
nobody ever opens a bottle of wine and say that was a good month.
Right. Well, thanks for bringing it. Cheers. Yeah. Thanks for making the journey.
Yeah, it was definitely an adventure.
Yeah. So what's been the highlight of the tour so far? Aside from this, and I know this is going to be up there.
When I was a couple of weeks ago and I was watching the Tumbleweed edition.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, all I got to do is take him a bottle of bourbon and get on the show.
Oh yeah.
No brainer.
Yeah.
No, it's.
Yes. Yes. Bottles of bourbon.
I think what it is definitely for me. It's been the shakedown of the bike.
Yeah.
I did an initial from Welch's over Mount Hood. Lolo Pass to the Dalles in one day. It's about 70 miles. I averaged 10 miles an hour.
Right.
Had about 4,500 feet of climbing. And it was, you know how the weather is in Hood River. You can be in the rainstorm and then snowstorm in Welch's, and then all of a sudden you're in a heat wave.
Right.
So it was a little challenging, but it was 7 hours of on the bike time, about 8.5 hours total with breaks.
Yeah. So that's a nice break-in for a bike.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good like testing its limits.
And it's a Trek 1120?
Trek 920.
920, okay.
Yeah, and it's the third year of the production line for this variation of the 920. Trek's been using those numbers for years.
Right.
And if you look up 920 on the internet right now, you'll get a lot of the old 70s and 80s bikes that are the full steel chromoly heavy bikes that weigh more than my bike does with all the gear on it.
Right. It's interesting how like the heritage brands or the heritage, like the Specialized Sequoia is another kind of make and model that's made a big comeback. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like a Trek or, they have that heritage. I mean, they've been around now. It's like the 90s seems it seems
The 90s are
recent.
coming back.
It seems recent, but yeah, things like from the late 80s and early 90s, you're like, oh, that's like a heritage brand now.
Right.
That's like vintage, a vintage bike now.
Yeah,
And
it's vintage retro.
yeah, and it's like you're like, oh wow, you have authority. You've been making bikes since the 90s.
Right.
That feels like yesterday, but in fact, it's 20 years ago.
Well, so the Trek 920 is touted as the bike to bike around the world with.
Yeah.
And when I actually found Path Less Pedaled when I was doing research for my next gravel bike.
Cool.
Yeah.
And when I found that, I stumbled onto you guys, and that really gave me a lot of information, especially for accessories and components during the reviews. And then I just fell in love with, bikes and bourbon.
Right. It's fun, I have to say, it's one of my favorite shows to produce, but also one of the most controversial. It's like people either can't get over the alcohol and miss all the bike stuff, or it takes people time to warm up to it. But I think when they do, they do enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
I know my 10-year-old was all glued to the LaCroix.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's.
We have to do another alcohol-free. I don't know what we should taste next.
Well, there's a lot of La Croix that we didn't.
That's true.
We didn't delve into the whole lineup that they offer. There's
Maybe
a lot.
we can do La Croix mixers. No, seriously, a good, especially for replenishing electrolytes and everything. The new fad, the new craze is coconut water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have all the different flavors.
That's
of
true.
coconut.
We could do a coconut.
Chilled. They've got cans. They've got bottles.
You could do an electrolyte tasting test, between Scratch and Tailwind and everything.
Yeah, let us know. Dry week.
Yeah, let's know.
We'll schedule it. We'll put it on the schedule here. Pocket some of this bourbon money for later.
Right.
Fill the coffers up again.
Yeah. Also, I wanted someone left a comment. I forget who exactly, but he brought up the point that we talk a lot about building bike community on the show.
Oh yeah.
And he was kind of curious about what other people think who watch the show. What are the things that a bike shop does to build bike community? Or, is it just having cool space, having events, interesting things to look at in the store so it draws people? So if you guys have suggestions of what you like to see in a bike or a community-oriented bike shop, list in the comments.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely, a lot of this is going off of our anecdotal experience.
Right.
We lived in these places, and so these are the shops. And I think that one of the things that I guess would make a great bike shop is that it is regional.
Right.
And you're serving like when I talk about Angry Catfish, and they're in Minneapolis. QBP is right there, so they're doing a lot of salsa, all city, surly bikes. That's just in the blood of Minneapolis. But it's what makes a shop in different places. You see it here. It's interesting. There's a lot more mountain bike focus,
right?
Which is a new thing for me. Kind of seeing so many shops be focused towards that market, and then they produce, they sponsor events, and so it's kind of a different way of engaging community.
Right.
So it's not all shops do it the same.
One of the things that we saw, we have a new bike shop in Welch's, and it immediately became the best bike shop in Welch's. Well, probably because it's the only bike shop. Right. But what I saw when I helped my buddy George Wilson get that started is that the big thing is the push is now towards e-bikes, electric assist downhill bikes, and I call them the why bother bike. I guess it gives people more runs during the day because they can motor up the hill and redone it.
It's enduro.
Right. Well, you do your own show run.
Right.
You don't need
doesn't pollute.
Yeah, you don't need a.
There's a brand name, Enduro, but with like a capital E, so it's like electric, and, you know.
E-Duro.
Enduro.
Enduro.
New hashtag.
Right.
The Enduro bike. Oh, that's gonna take off.
But to go back on the purpose for a bike shop in today's world and market, it depends on the locale too. Like you know, you and I both have lived in Portland. In Portland, it's just like microbrew beers. There's one stacked on top of another, and that's the same with bike shops. So everybody's got their own little different niche. We've worked through Portland United Peddlers. Now it's the Northwest Trail Alliance. We've worked with shops like River City Bikes for their racing teams, and we've also worked with guys like Reach the Beach and all of the different rides to provide maintenance support for those. And that stuff is invaluable. What you're doing with Pedal Missoula is probably something that I'm going to take and adapt for George at Mount Hood Bicycle Shop, because we have a lot of the retired seniors that have bikes, and George's big bulk of his work right now is maintenance. A lot of it, and I'm seeing chromoly steel bikes that I wish I could had just to retrofit, or do something.
Bike industry has been focused on competitive stuff, and we talk a lot about this show about like we really like bikes, and we really don't like to be competitive on them. I mean, that's
it's a barrier to entry. I think like everything's that racing isn't necessarily everyone's modus operandi. So to kind of just have things focused on that, I think can turn a lot of people off. And
I think it's sad in this day and age that we can spend $2,000 to $3,000 on an imported bike from China that is a 1 in a million stamp copy, and where we can go to our local bike builders and get custom bikes that are made just for you, and you can outfit it the way you want.
You heard that the Oregon Handmade Bike Show was it was like canceled, and then they kind of came in and they're doing like a frame builders for Velocult.
I do remember
I
remember attending a couple of them when we lived there, and I did notice them get like progressively smaller. Like the first one I went to was like this big kind of festival, and by the end of it kind of dwindled. And I'm not sure if that's.
Well, at least they tried. And that you're never, a journey of 1,000 steps starts with that first step. And if they do that, just to take that initiative to do it, they're going to build momentum on the next time.
One kind of future episode for PLP Talks I was thinking about was getting a Alien. Karate, filmed by Bike. But she was also part of, the Shift group and part of the initial core group of bike funnists in Portland that helped start a bunch of events. And talk to her from like a historical perspective of like, okay, what started all this bike fun, and what's happening now? Are people that got involved then, or are they just aging out or moving out of town, or like how has bike fun changed over the years in Portland?
Well, you start to see. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Like, I mean, as somebody who's like you have Breadwinner, you have like frame builders opening up coffee shops, which like kind of is like, it's like, how do you do that? I mean, and it's not even a coffee shop. I feel like they have like food and they have like a whole thing there, and I'm like, wow, like I think most people would try to be like, okay, as a frame builder, how do I like pay my rent and eat food every day?
I think like a couple of frame builders like Vanilla, Breadwinner, they went from like purely custom to semi-production because they wanted to scale it up so it would be like kind of a sustainable business. So.
Well, that's how it used to. I mean, you hear stories. I think Soulcraft in Northern California started off. I think he like was a salsa like way back in. Well, we were talking about 100 years ago in the 90s. That he was like a frame. He did like he built stems. He was like welding stems for salsa when they still were doing production and.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see, like, from I feel like the glut of individual frame builders, like what brands have like stuck around and why they've stuck around, because I don't think like the solo artisan model is like sustainable for a business. Like you have to kind of expand somehow.
Through sharing a passion and networking, people need to realize the power of synergy. And you see people that team up all the time and make really great bike companies.
Yeah.
And sometimes you may be the person that's great at the art, great at the construction and the welding, but you need somebody that's good on the marketing side and somebody that knows how to balance the books. You know, if not, so many people fail at business because they don't have the business sense to go ahead and take count of where the money is and pay the bills.
I'm ready to get a little bit of a
Sure.
refill
me
here,
too.
because this has become like, this is like a really
It's
nice.
scotchy.
It is kind of scotchy, and it's like, yeah, it has some.
Maybe it's because I had scotch before this.
That is true.
It's
People that
residual.
are watching the show know that.
By the way, I'm not driving.
No. I like this more the more that I drink it. I don't know if that's just alcohol, but it's
You know, and I don't know what the price point on this. I don't.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive. I think it's
Yeah.
between $30 and $40.
right.
And so it's,
That's your typical. It seems like
Yeah.
nowadays that's what you're going to pay for.
And this is what I would consider a craft bourbon. You know, it's you don't get this everywhere, but
small.
you know,
small
I've been
batch.
in North Carolina and I found Bridgeport beer.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just you look at the size and where people are at in their development.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you know, if you
So I
guys,
can't take it back with me.
well, you can take.
No, I can get as much of that as I want.
So you have
on
a
it.
you have an interesting background. You teach survival skills.
Oh, used to.
You used to.
I'm pretty much retired now. I was in aviation all my life. As a matter of fact, on YouTube, my name is Aviator6 and AV8R. And I put that because Raised by Fighter Pilots was too long.
Right.
But I went in the Air Force in 1982 and traveled the world for 20 years and pretty much taught the pilots and equipped them for survival. And then I transfer that over to civilian groups like church groups, scout groups, pilot associations.
So what skills or what mindset could you take from that practice to bike touring? Like what were some basic like survival things that a bike tourist could apply?
Immediate self-aid buddy care.
Okay.
Being able to take care of yourself if you get something happen on the trail. And, you know, it's real easy on a mountain bike trail to get separated from everybody.
Right.
And, you know, they do have, like, the Garmin Edge series has those tracking abilities where everybody can sync up
Right.
with Duo Trap, and then they can basically keep track of everybody. So if somebody does go stationary, everybody can see it on the map. And
Right.
They can go back for them. Typically what we do is we wait ahead. And if we don't see them within 2 or 3 hours, we know that after we have our last beer, we go get them.
So, yeah.
Is there anything that you bring on the bike tour that maybe not everyone else brings, but you bring because of your training?
I do. As a matter of fact, all of the organizations that I've done stuff with, you know, some of my pilot association, we climbed to the rim of Mount St. Helens one time, and I climbed the mountain twice because I was the youngest guy there and I had the first aid kit. So I was up and down the mountain checking on people, make sure, you know, we had elderly people that had weak knees. You know, they still wanted to do it. They had a trekking pole. I always travel on my bike with a personal survival kit, something that has a little bit of medical. Something that you would consider for your personal survival kit is if you wear prescription glasses, an extra pair of glasses or contacts. If you have any needs like diabetes medicine, any type of special allergy stuff. If you're subject to anaphylactic shock, then you have your bee sting kit. Anything that might save your life, you need to have with you when you're out there.
Right.
And one of the things I did is on this Trek 920. It has 6 bottle cage mounts. 6.
Yeah.
So I've only used 3. The fourth one on the bottom has a plastic Skippy peanut butter jar
Nice.
stuffed with survival gear in it, and that stays down there.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I noticed on that bike was the.
It even came with a red cap. So
like the one. Yeah.
it looks kind of first aid-ish.
Yeah. No, well, it definitely is like I need help, and like here's this thing when I'm not
Sure.
like when you. I mean, that's the thing that like as you gravel these, you're out on roads that. Like they're unmaintained. Like that. I mean, that's the appeal of them.
Right.
Is part of it is that they're not maintained. But then
That's
the other
the
part of that is that you're gonna have really like you don't know what you're getting into. It could be gravel that's really loose.
Yeah.
And that's
This
what-
time of year, things dry out and things
Yeah.
get really dusty, and you just traction can be not as secure as it was earlier in the season. So
One of the things I bought for this trip from Spokane, I was going to go from Spokane to Missoula, and I pulled out because of the weather at St. Regis, about 80 miles away. And one of the things that I went for this trip was just to keep sealed in the package. I wasn't planning to use it, but if you get lost, you get turned around out in the woods, and you have to stay overnight. You can survive that, but you might need water. And so Life Straw is a good tool to have. Just takes up a little bit of space. It'll fit in most. I have the classic 6 handlebar bag with the mount from Ortlieb.
Yeah.
And it fits perfectly at the base of that, and you never have to touch it.
Right.
It's just
yeah,
there if you need it. It's lightweight.
right.
And then you want to have a flask of this in case
Yeah.
you need to. You never know when you might have to sanitize the wounds.
Yeah. Sanitize the wounds or help
Help pass the time.
help calm the nerves
Yeah,
a little bit
pain
after
medicine.
after you've done the initial everything stabilized. You can hang out for a little bit. Yeah.
Sure.
So this was a 4-year aging.
4-year aging. Okay.
4 years, and
In the oak.
the website is my initial reading of it's a little vague. And
They don't want to
so
give
all
away
the,
the
all the
craft.
nerdy details as
Well, it
far
has
as
so many words
but,
on it. It says Gariana finish, small batch, so it's special.
Yeah,
So is
but
the-
4 years is like a pretty. I mean, I feel like that's
Is Gariana like a type of wood or barrel, or is that just the
yeah.
person that put it in the barrel?
more research.
And was it Gary or
Too
was it
much.
Alex?
Right.
Right. Was it Glenn or was it Karen? All these confusing questions
Sure.
around bourbon. Yeah, so, but 4 years seems like, as far as new distilleries kind of having to wait, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I've had
Yeah,
like
I'm-
some 6-year-old from newer distilleries, and not as good as this one. Like I feel like we've tasted a couple where it's been a little bit sour, or
Right.
something just feels off.
Right.
So this is, I mean, for something that's just 4 years old, pretty good.
That's actually one of the nice things about this one. I feel like sometimes we talk about like it's not thin and not like light in a bad way. It's not thin at all. But there's like a nice kind of like
Smoothness.
to it that is making it, just kind of an easy sipper today. So when you are riding and training, do you use any apps to track your activity?
Google Maps.
Yeah.
It just kind of helps me find my route when it works.
Yeah.
And I went and bought a duo trap because this bike is duo trap ready. It's got the insert sleeve.
Okay.
Plugged it in. Then I was setting it up, and I went and downloaded the Map My Ride
Yeah.
from Under Armour.
Yeah.
And I was all the stuff that it needs. And me personally, I'm a cheap guy. I have a 2 gigabyte plan on my on an iPhone.
Yeah.
And I was worried about data usage
Yeah.
and just having to remember to turn it on and turn it off
Yeah.
when I don't need it and everything. And I thought, you know what? It's taking away the fun.
Yeah.
I want to go out and get lost.
Yeah.
That's why I take the survival kit.
Right. In case he gets lost.
You don't need Strava. You need a survival
You just
kit.
need a survival kit.
No, because I just had been before I came over today, I was poking around on the internet, as one will do sometimes. And there's a Bike Snob article where he was talking about Strava and how he likes it because it's kind of holds him accountable. And I was thinking like I could use some bike accountability every now and then, but I don't know if Strava would be.
I used to be really into tracking my rides, but I don't know. It's, yeah.
Well, especially training for Dirty Kansas was probably a need for that. And,
Yeah.
But as we get older, we realize that we get ourselves out of trouble by knowing what not to get into.
Right.
And so that's I don't look at it for a survival sense, and I don't really look at it next time to measure my status as a cyclist.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I mean, for me, the social network aspect of like something like Strava doesn't. I think there's enough social media out there that to like have another place where I'm like liking and giving kudos to someone, it just feels like.
You're like, I had too many likes today.
I don't know. It's like
And there's nothing wrong with
Instagram has stolen my heart.
if you
Nobody
use
else.
Strava or Map My Ride or any other type of tracking device for your apps, there's nothing wrong with that. That's if whatever
Sure.
it takes to motivate you to do a good job on your ride.
Yeah.
Remember, it's always point A to point B.
Yeah. Well, we are both stay-at-home parents. You've been doing it for a lot longer than I have.
Only a couple years.
And one of the things is that like, I mean, whether it's like something like that, parenting, or just like whatever, like you have other hobbies. Sorry, people have other hobbies besides bikes.
What?
Yeah.
Some people like to watercolor.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you have other things, and like there's times where I have been like when was like the last time I went out on like a long ride? I'm like,
Right.
I think it was like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, oh, just stuff has happened, and
Life.
yeah, like you're just busy, and
I don't look at the hour-long 25-mile ride anymore as a long ride.
Right.
It just doesn't get where I need to go. And
Yeah.
it's about the frequency too. If you do
Yeah.
that and then you do it another 2 weeks, you almost lose the impact of because I notice my legs feel worse.
Yeah.
And my cardiovascular conditioning is worse. So.
Right. Yeah. I always like to blame that though on elevation. when I can. Oh, this hill is steep. It's at elevation.
You can do that here, maybe not so much in Minneapolis.
Most of my rides are uphill both ways. You know, when McKenna was born, we ended up getting we bought a Burley trailer on Craigslist used, and I immediately took the seat out. I told you guys about this morning. I took it out, put a nice wooden base in there. I bolted it in, got the hardware from the hardware store because I wanted it to be secure, and I mounted her car seat base in there so it would be safe. And she faced backwards, and I would take her in the Burley on places like the Springwater Trail and on bike routes in Portland. And then she elevated to the Weehoo, which allowed her to cycle, but we felt more comfortable than a standard ride behind because if she fell asleep, she'd fall off.
Right.
And so in the Weehoo, she could be back there, and if she didn't want to pedal, she didn't have to.
Right.
And she was 2.5 years old, going down the road, going Weehoo.
That's secret parenting. Riding with your kid is like secret training.
Right.
Adding 35 to 50 pounds.
Right.
Is like it's one of those
That's
things.
resistance.
It is.
That's resistance.
Especially when you throw in toys and crayons.
Yeah.
And for us, it was snacks and water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
no. We have a friend in town who he gets his kid around and they go out and do, because in Montana we have really nice access, like a few miles from your home you can be feeling like you're trails.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like best shape of his life, and I'm like, what's this dad life doing for you? And it's like, well, I got like 30 extra pounds back there. It's like. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like wearing ankle weights. You take them off
For the rest of your life.
Yeah. Thanks for that reminder, Russ.
Sorry.
The non-parent in the house. What it is it turns from a physical weight to a financial weight later.
Yeah, this is a different type of adventure biking that we're talking about right now.
How many times have you said, "Don't make me pull this bike over, mister"?
Oh man. Well, when you're on a climb and like there's just the voice in your head that is like, we should turn around. You're going slow. But all of a sudden that becomes your kid.
Right.
Like, Dad, why are we going so slow up this hill? We're not going slow. This is a good pace.
Yeah. Well, this is good.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed this. This is like a really nice. This is I feel like it hits a lot of like your bourbon notes.
Not super sweet.
Yeah, there's nothing that's really like hot, like jumping out at me as kind of making it. But sometimes, like once again, there's certain bourbons that you like. You don't. It's just like a nice, easy sipper. Definitely would be like I think a good flask bourbon.
Yeah.
It doesn't kill your palate either because every taste has been the same kind of floral notes with the vanilla.
Yep.
It's really sustained through it because a lot of times you'll get, especially in high alcohol contests like this, you'll get that taste bud numb.
Yeah.
And then you don't taste anything.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like for something this high proof, it feels fairly mellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
we've already drinking half the bottle, so
I know, yeah.
what do we know?
Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for being an awesome guest. Not that if you want to be on the show, you don't have to bring anything necessarily, but it helps.
Yep.
And if you bring anything non-alcoholic, it always helps to bring something else to just complement it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that you got your daughter a watercolor kit after watching one of her videos. I wanted to give you guys an original watercolor.
Ooh.
So this was actually scanned and printed in Adventure Cycling. So you'll
nice.
Nice.
Yeah. We have a frame just for this at home.
Awesome.
Most of our artwork is either personal art or art we did ourselves.
Cool. Well, thanks for making the journey. Thanks for bringing the bourbon.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the
Thanks,
show.
Don.
You're an amazing dad. I watched you this morning with Andrew.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm like, wow, he's a way better dad than I was.
Well, on that note, until next time,
Keep the supple side down.
cheers.
Cheers. Clink, clink.
What are you?
One more for the road.
Oh, just
thanks to
perfect
girls.
timing, the batteries.